I'm going to demonstrate the difference between the rubber belt, which I think you all know has the stripe on it, and the synthetic belt. There's no stripe on it. It actually has a Z on it. That's why you call it the Z belt. But first I'd like to explain the design behind the belt and what it's supposed to do. When the unit sees a load, either from very, very heavy carpet, I mean this is a frisee, or if the brush roll gets jammed, what's supposed to happen by design is the belt is supposed to stick on the pulley. It will continue to, the motor shaft will continue to spin and burn through the belt. That's by design. It's motor protection overload. That's what it's supposed to do. What you're going to see, and hopefully you'll be able to see it in the demonstration, is that on the rubber belt, it doesn't grab the pulley real well. It continues to turn. The coefficient of friction on the motor shaft is actually overcoming that of the pulley, so it's spinning slowly and it slides right off. What you'll see with the synthetic belt is the belt will stop. It will quit turning. It'll start to burn on the motor shaft by design. It's not going to pop off. Again, the purpose here is to show you that the rubber belt will pop off on a Pilot or a Platinum under certain conditions. This is the rubber belt. I'm not going to speak during the demo because you won't be able to hear me. That's an example of what I just explained. If you noticed, you might have been able to see it turn very slowly, and when it does, it slipped right off. Next, it's going to be the synthetic belt. Same test. This time we have the synthetic belt on, and what you should see is the belt should stall on the pulley. It's going to continue, the motor's going to continue to spin. You're going to see it smoke, and 10 seconds later, maybe 15, you're going to see it pop. That's what it's supposed to do when it gets a severe load or it's stalled, picks up a sock. It's just by design. Unfortunately, with the synthetic belt, with the rubber belt, what was happening on some units, it was popping off the pulley per that prior demonstration. All right, I mentioned earlier that we're really not hearing many, if any, complaints with the belt popping off a Classic. And this happens to be one of the rubber belts. I'm going to demonstrate why it doesn't. The Classic has a different brush roll. Obviously, you're aware of that. It's the filaments, or these tufts, they're longer. The filaments that make up the tuft are thinner, so they're softer. With the Classic brush roll, with the softer tufts, what you're going to see is when I put as much load on this frisee carpet, it doesn't stall. It doesn't want to pop off. Doesn't stall. You can't put enough load on this on a heavy, frisee or plush carpet to get it to stall. So that's one of the reasons it doesn't come off. I just demonstrated how you can't put enough load on a Classic unit to stall the brush roll, but what we're going to try here is to try and stall it with the rubber belt, and what you should see is it's not going to pop off on this unit. So what I just finished showing you is that on this particular one's a Pilot, but be it a Platinum or an XL21, you need to use the synthetic belt. It generates more torque. The unit requires more torque because it's a stiffer brush roll. It's easier to put a load on it, and the synthetic belt produces that kind of torque. On a Classic unit, it really doesn't make any difference because it doesn't see enough load, and the design is somewhat different. Obviously, it's got a different size pulley on it, such that it really doesn't make any difference which belt you use. We currently produce all the Classic style units with the rubber belt, but you can use the rubber or the synthetic on this particular model. Again, this one, stay with the synthetic belt.